everything is going to be all right. We get fly out here, yeah, and all out of sight. But I don't bite, make my own. Make sure when I get on the microphone, the tone to get set, yeah, and we're going to get to this thing that's going to be a short shot bet. Talking about Maga. Maga, yo, you really want to talk about Maga? We got the saga. Because it's kind of crazy. You scared if they win, scared if they lose. Think that if they lose, somebody gonna get bruised. Won't certify the election. Maybe might have to apply for protection. Not really sure the score, but I know that right now we are on tour. 17 days left till you vote. Yo, are you ready for the story you wrote? I don't know how it's gonna go, but I know we're gonna talk about it on the Urban Therapy with Sun show. Yes, we will. Right now, skills are going to get shown, minds are going to get blown. I'm going to do this with y'all, but we on our own, the zone that we are in. We're going to make sure that we take the block and give it a spin. Yeah, I begin to talk about the air and things over there, and maybe even the polo shirt that I wear. Scared? Nah, I'm never that, because I'm prepared to do whatever got to do with a bat, maybe even gat. But we gotta have this conversation today, y'all. We have to have this conversation because I was talking to somebody about this whole thing, about the whole MAGA movement thing and all of that. And honestly, in my opinion, this thing almost feels like terrorism to me. Real trap. It seems like terrorism to me. And I don't know if it's being done on purpose, but I suspect that it is. I suspect that it's actually being done on purpose. We're going to scare everybody into them giving us our way, because if we win, then you'll be messed up in the long term. If we lose, we're going to tear everything up right now. It doesn't feel genuinely fair. It doesn't seem democratic, so to speak. But this is the world that we're living in right now, and these are the cards that we are being dealt. So we got to deal with it, and we got to roll with the punches. We're going to give the information today on the bunches. But I'm really kind of interested in your perspective and your opinion on this thing, because maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping with this whole MAGA thing. Like, maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong angle. Now, I know enough about the MAGA movement to make, make a pretty good argument about how dangerous they are or how helpful they may seem to some people. But, this is a very, very polarizing subject nowadays. This is dividing a country. This is dividing families. It's dividing friends. It's dividing classmates and co-workers and all of this kind of stuff. This is real life. And so I want to know what y'all think about the whole, if they win, there's going to be problems. If they lose, there's going to be problems. We're already starting to see really strong remnants, ghosts of the 2020 election. We know what happened during the 2020 election when Donald Trump already set it up months in advance to put in everybody's mind that if he lost, it was because of election fraud, or it was because the election had been stolen. And, if you say something to somebody enough times, they start to believe it. And that definitely happened. Now, I'm a registered Democrat, but I'm not a liberal. I don't believe in a lot of the liberal policies. I don't agree with a lot of the things that the liberal agenda sort of forces on us. But I do agree with a lot of the policies and a lot of the things that the liberals do push. So with that being said, one thing that's very important to me is safety and security, not necessarily the rule of law. I don't like the way that sounds, because when we start talking about the rule of law, we normally start talking about the rule of law waged against people who are my complexion or darker or lighter. Not much lighter, but you understand what I'm saying. So when we start talking about this MAGA movement thing, when we start talking about the 2024 election, what are we really talking about? What is really happening? What's the deal? What's up, my peoples? All right, Stacy White. What's going on? Stacy White holding it down for the D all day, every day. Thanks for coming on through. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. And what's that? Squos? Squos 316? Roly-poly bugs are actually crustaceans. Is that a fact? I never knew that roly-poly bugs were actually crustaceans. Well, I'm thankful for that information. Really? I'm not even bullshitting. And Little King says Trump 2024. Okay. All right. So yeah, this whole MAGA thing. What are we really talking about? What are we really dealing with? MAGA is an acronym for Make America Great Again. You know, this is the whole slogan and the movement developed by Donald Trump. And it is a subdivision or subset or subculture of the Republican Party. And I have to say that it's a subculture of the Republican Party because they don't carry the same conservative values that the Republican Party is known for. They sort of do their own thing. They make their own way. They go in a direction of their own. They have a different outlook about the way that politics are done, and you know, a lot of the agencies that the Republican Party has relied on for years, MAGA says no. Now, in my opinion, and my opinion is based on the evidence that I'm seeing these days, MAGA is all about Donald Trump, because the other Republican candidates or other Republican leaders and other Republican, even the media, they don't hold the same traditional conservative values that Republicans have and conservatives have held for years. So whereas normally government relies on agencies such as you know, the FBI, the CIA, the Secret Service, the DEA, what is it? Alcohol, ATF, you know, governmental agencies like that. We have for a long time, we've relied on those agencies as the good guys, recognized them as the good guys, and we counted on them to catch the bad guys. That hasn't been. Donald Trump tells you to only trust him. I mean, that's not an opinion. Don't trust mainstream media. Definitely don't trust any media except for Fox. None of them, like just Fox. And don't trust the FBI. You know, everybody is against him. So basically, anybody who has ever questioned him, who has ever tried to not only question his motives, but investigate some of the things that he's done, they are enemies of the state in his eyes. And it's amazing how his followers are feeding into that. Now, we can talk about the personal aspects, personality traits, and actions of Donald Trump all day. And when you talk about MAGA, you don't have a choice. You have little choice not to. You have to acknowledge how he handles his political agenda and the contrast that it has to not only the Democratic Party or independents, but also to his own Republican Party. These are different Republicans. But what makes these Republicans different than traditional Republicans and conservatives is the MAGA movement seems dangerous. Like they have done things that we've never seen before. You know, this election denier stuff. Never in American history have we ever seen anything like this. Never before. Like we are in in enemy territory, or should I say foreign territory? Let's not say we're not going to call one person an enemy and the other person a friend. You know, not yet. I'll let that be your decision. Now, hold on. Let me we started the show. I guess I wasn't really prepared for what we were doing, but we're gonna get on track now. We shall get on track right now. So let me post the phone number for y'all to call in if you'd like to call into the show. This is a totally interactive show. 100% uncensored. If you call into the show, your voice will be heard, your image will not be seen, but you will be able to speak your mind and say whatever you want to say. You don't have to worry about appeasing me. I don't block people because you say things that I don't like, or you conduct your business in a way that I don't appreciate. You can say whatever you want to. Freedom of speech is welcome over here. That we value the First Amendment. I do require you to be respectful to the people who are in the chat. That is a requirement. Like, I don't want you messing up. I don't want you disrespecting other people or intimidating other people to not be able to express their own opinions and their thoughts and feelings. All right, so the number to call is 319-527-6199. And so let's go ahead and kick this thing off. All right. So I put the number up there. Let me go ahead and pin it. Pin it to the top. So let's get it popping. Let me do this intro. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Saturday from 1 p.m. till around 2:30-ish. And the reason that we say 2:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Saturday. And it is a Saturday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should. I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. Today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we are talking about Maga. Maga, baby. Should we be scared if they win? Should we be scared if they lose? This is actually a serious question. This is a serious issue. This is a question and an issue that I never would have thought that we would have had to address. But it is something that we have to address. This is real shit. We have gone through the election denier stuff. We have gone through Fox News being sued successfully in a settlement for $750 million, almost $1 billion, because of defamation, spreading false information about stealing the election and blaming a certain vote counting company for that. They had to pay. And that's why they won't allow, even though if Trump supporters come on Fox now and say that the election was stolen, they have to clear it up at the end of the show. Like, what? There's no evidence to support that any election was stolen. They have to do that now. They were not doing that before. As a matter of fact, they were pushing the agenda. That's one of the reasons that some of their hosts are no longer on the network. Tucker Carlson, out of here. He had to go. Had to go. He was pushing that agenda, and it came back to bite him on the ass because it wasn't true. It just wasn't true. So we have to deal with a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and it's really hard to deal with disinformation when you're dealing with somebody who people believe in. And Donald Trump is definitely a polarizing figure, an icon, and someone that people put a lot of faith and belief into not just their spirituality into it. They go out and they act for him. I honestly believe that people will and have gone out of their way to inflict violence on his behalf. I don't see how anybody in this world, but definitely in the United States, I don't see how you can watch what happened with January 6th and be okay with that. I don't see how anybody finds a way to make excuses for what happened on January 6th. I just don't see it. I don't understand. Does everybody see something that I don't see? Like, what is happening here? Like, what's going on? But it's a real thing. What happened on January 6th? Okay, there was a rally. Centering around certifying the election results of the 2020 election. Donald Trump holds the same position today on October 19th, 2024, as he did on January 6th, 2021. He professes, swears up and down, and tells everyone and has convinced millions that the election results in which he did not win were mishandled, improperly counted, and that he should have won. He says that he did win. Not only does he say that he won, but he says that he won in a landslide. You can say that's just embellishment. You can say that that's just, an exaggeration. But one thing is for sure, it's untrue. And even his vice president the running mate for vice president of the United States that he has chosen, J.D. Vance, now holds the position that the election was stolen. That's not what he was saying in 2021. That is absolutely not what he was saying in 2021. So many people who were not Trump supporters in 2020 and 2021 are now Trump supporters and actually holding on to the premise that Donald Trump laid out, which is that the election was stolen. Now, let me ask y'all, does anybody that's listening to this show right now, does anybody believe that the election of 2020, the presidential election of 2020 was stolen? Does anybody believe that? And I have another question for anybody, depending on your answer, I still have more questions. But does anybody believe that so E Lavany or Yovani says, yes, you believe it was stolen. Okay. Awakened Star Seeds Crystal. Okay. All right. Oh, that says Lena? Okay. Awakened Star Seeds Crystal says yes. All right. I'm interested to know, if you believe that the election was stolen, what makes you believe that? Like, what evidence do you have? What proof can you present? And I'm not looking for you to write a research paper, and I'm not looking for you to actually have references. But what makes you believe that the election was stolen? And why would this election be stolen versus other elections? Because we've had problems with counting votes before. We've had like the election of 2000 between George W. Bush and Al Gore. There was a lot of controversy around, surrounding that election too. And many people believe that Al Gore actually probably won that election because it came down to Florida, and Jeb Bush was the governor of Florida, and the election was really close. It was really close. Remember, Al Gore didn't concede on that first night, but he did eventually concede. Then you have somebody like Donald Trump, who has not only not conceded the election, but didn't even go to the inauguration. Then we have January 6th and things like that. So let me see what y'all saying. Lena says, hey, what up, Mark G? Lena says, seeing the numbers actually go backwards in the middle of the night is one big one. Okay. And you say, I think It's been going on for decades. Well, what made the presidential election of 2020 different from all past elections was, first of all, COVID was going on. So a lot of people were not able to go out and vote. And a lot of people stayed home. But you had the power to mail in your votes. But Donald Trump told his supporters not to do that. He straight told them, don't do mail-in voting. We want to win the election visually on election day. That's what he said. So people listened to him. Okay, I'm going to go out and vote. I'm going to go out and vote. I'm not going to mail in my ballots. Well, Democrats did the exact opposite. They were told by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, mail in your votes. You don't have to stand in long lines. You don't have to risk catching COVID from people. Mail in your votes. And they mailed in their votes by the millions. Now, if you tell your group not to do something, not to perform a certain function, and they listen to you, and then you don't get the results that you're looking for, but you want to blame the other team that told their team to do the exact opposite, that just seems weird to me. Now you want to cry. You were already setting the table to have the election stolen if you didn't win. You already said that. If I don't win, you said that in 2015, 2016. If I don't win, then it's been rigged. And that's another thing about Donald Trump and MAGA supporters that I really don't understand. The whole everything that goes against his beliefs, against Donald Trump's beliefs, is a hoax. Anything that he doesn't like is a hoax. It's rigged. It's a hoax. It's rigged. How many times can a person say that to you and you actually feed into it? Like, and my whole thing is, if he was somebody in your life that you knew personally, somebody that you had a personal phone number to, somebody who you could text, somebody who you could go visit, somebody who you really, really knew, you would not go for them saying that everything is a hoax. You wouldn't, you would look at them peculiarly. Yeah, you would. Like, what do you mean it's a hoax? Like, what proof do you have that it's a hoax? But okay. All right. What up, Scene Flexing? And Scene Flexing is voting Trump. All right. Awaken Seas Crystal says it's not just a few word topic, but look into the Dominion voting system. Well, we have looked into the Dominion voting system. That's what I'm saying. And they were proven that not saying that they didn't find any voting discrepancies, but they found that on both sides. What do you think? Only Democrats are going to try to gain an advantage and Republicans are not going to try to gain an advantage? But what was found was that there wasn't enough on either side to sway the election one way or another. But you have to take into consideration that he told his followers, he told his voting public not to mail in their votes. That was the stupidest thing. That was just dumb. It's like watching you. I'm sure that some of you watch sports. Maybe all of you watch sports. And when you're watching your favorite team and you see how they're being coached and you're thinking to yourself, what a bonehead play. Why would you run that play? Why would you do that in this situation? Well, you didn't ask in this situation with the pandemic in full swing. This is 2020. This ain't 2021 or 2022 after the vaccine came out. This is 2020. And you're telling your voters, you should have been telling them any way that you can vote for me, make it happen, please. And do it fast. Don't hesitate. That's not what he did. He wanted, because see, one thing about Donald Trump that you have to really understand is that he understands how the media works. You know, as far as the media is concerned, he's undefeated. He knows exactly from working in TV all those years with the Apprentice. He knows exactly how to work the camera. He understands the influence that TV, movies, and radio have on the American public and the public worldwide. He knows, he understands propaganda. He knows that. He will never use a word like propaganda, but he'll use a word like fake news. Like, don't believe any of the liberal media. Many Trump supporters say don't even listen to mainstream media, no matter what. So you should just listen to people like me and a bunch of other YouTubers and bloggers and stuff like that. We're somehow the authority over people who have been doing this for years, over people who have inside information. Okay, all right. I mean, listen, you do whatever you want to do, but I just think I just think it's interesting. All right, Jacqueline Frigo says they stopped counting and restarted counting later when everyone was sleeping. Another fact, we saw the videos them pulling bags out under the table when they told everybody we stopped counting. Here's the problem I have with this whole stop counting thing. At the time, you know, so convenient. At the time that the election, the 2020 election was going on, I worked at the Pennsylvania Convention Center, where guess what? That's where they were doing the counting. That's where they were counting the ballots. And we had specific instructions not to interrupt anything that they were going on. We had to disinfect their areas nightly. We had a whole regimen. They counted votes for days. Who thought that they were going to be able to stop? They were going to finish counting votes in that day. You had millions of mail-in ballots. You can't count those in one day. It went on for days. They were counting votes for more than a week. What do you I mean, like, I was there. Now, this is not something that I watched from afar. I worked at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. If you want to, you can go and Google now. In the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where were the votes counted for the 2020 presidential election? We all had to get security clearance. The shit was wild. It was a hell of an experience. That's why when I hear people talk about this whole they stopped counting shit, I'm like, oh yeah. I saw the machines. I was there. I saw the machines. Yeah. And I saw millions or thousands, I don't know how many ballots there were, but I saw them. I physically saw them. You know what I didn't see? Because I was in charge of housekeeping. I managed housekeeping. I was the manager of operations for housekeeping at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. You know what I didn't see? I didn't see any trash bags of ballots going out in the trash. All of our trash bags were transparent. There's no way that they could discard anything without us seeing them. So where did they stop counting the ballots? I'm seeing the machine counting ballots. You know how you know what kind of time it would take to audit each ballot? Like, okay, this is a Democratic ballot. Put that one in. Oh, this is a GOP. No. Throw that one. Logically, it doesn't make sense. But if Jesus is telling you that something is a fact, you're going to listen if you're a Christian. And obviously, Donald Trump is Jesus. People don't believe what Joe Biden says. They don't follow what Joe Biden tells you to do. They don't do that. They don't hang on Joe Biden's every word. Kamala Harris, none of them. You know who does hang on every word that he says? Trump supporters. Like nothing he does is wrong to you guys. All right. I don't know. It just seems weird. Team Hungry. Thanks, man. Appreciate you coming through. I appreciate all of y'all. Thanks for coming through. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this we actually are on every day, but during the week, we are the Daily Go-Getimism show. On the weekends, we are the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We are talking about Maga. Maga, baby. Hold on. As a matter of fact, I feel like I've been doing y'all a disservice. I've gotten into the material so much that I'm not doing my due diligence to make sure that y'all understand exactly what's going on here. So we talking about Maga. Maga, scared if they win, scared if they lose. I feel like I'm under a terrorist attack. If we don't let them win, quote unquote, if we don't let them win, then they're gonna beat up people. They're gonna storm the Capitol again. They're gonna cut us off. They're gonna hurt people. I mean, this is a genuine concern of people. You know, they're bullying. They're actually bullying the American public. None of them want to admit that, but that is the energy that's out there. Please hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun. Urban Therapy with Sun. Urban Therapy with Sun, Southern Sun 752, not 751, but we have fun. We do this every day. Yeah, the words that I say, hopefully they get in your mind and so we can find some common ground. I want y'all to stick around. I want to be around too, but I'm going to show you what we do. We call in the crew. Yeah, sometimes my boo. Yeah, what up, boo? What's up with you? Yeah, we have a lot of time, a good times. Make sure that the sun always shines, giving us the light, and the light is the knowledge. And we can talk about the things we learned on the street or in college. I'm here to please you. Let's get back into the topic. Yo, let's drop it. All right. Okay. Lena says everyone here mailed in their votes. How can you know that? How can you know that? How do you know who mailed in their votes? Like, I don't know. That's a little interesting. Okay. Jacqueline Freegout says, California, perfect example. No ID to vote. Are you kidding? California, that's the state that you want to, like, do Republicans ever win California? Like the chances of a Republican candidate winning California is like a Democrat winning Texas. How's that been working out? I mean, just asking. How's it been turning out? Republicans don't win California. They just don't. But once again, Donald Trump has his supporters disbelieving the American media. Fake news. He told everybody it was fake news if it goes against him, and plenty of us have really, really sucked it up. At first, it was like a tagline. So anytime anybody said something that we didn't believe, or if we thought that they were embellishing or exaggerating, that's fake news. That's fake news. Nah, hey, you ain't getting money out here. That's fake news. Now, but it's a real thing. ABC, NBC, CBS, enemies of MAGA. No, you can't listen to anything they say. Only listen to what Fox says. And only the most conservative Trump supporting members of Fox. Other than that, don't look at none of those networks. I don't know. Ryan Magyar, what's good? How you feeling? Mark G says, exactamundo, son. Ronald Archibald says, voting Harris. Okay, cool. Ryan says, how you been, man? Also, I'm great as well. Sick, coughing again, and having a party at my house today as well. Have a good day. Yo, man, be careful. Yo, they are coming out with all kinds. Listen, it's not even about COVID anymore. They got regular colds and flu that are kicking ass out here. I mean, kicking ass. They smacking people up in the streets. It's crazy right now. Please protect yourself, my people. Please protect yourself. You know, when you are sick, it's hard for you to be in service of anyone. Jacqueline Friga says, Ronald, you must be happy with Biden then. Well, I mean, if you're on the opposing side of an issue or a team or a faction or a group, of course you could always wonder why certain people like the other side instead of your side. Of course you're going to feel like you have all the answers. Of course you're going to feel like you have the better team, the better ideas, the better outlook, the better technique. Of course. Why wouldn't you think that way? Mark G says, "Yep, he's a media expert." He is. He is. And this is not something that's said enough. You see how like he's ducking interviews now. He doesn't want to interview with anybody who is going to fact check him. I mean, he's really been acting like a pussy. Honestly, after all of this talk about how unqualified Kamala Harris is and how she's scared to go into the fire, she's going head up, face to face with her opposition. Like, all right, fuck it. Let's have this talk. That's confidence right there. They said that she doesn't have any policy. Like, where's her policy? And she clearly lays, first of all, she can answer, she knows how to answer a question. A direct question, you know, things like yes and no, and give out a detailed explanation. And she's been doing that. You know who doesn't do that? Donald Trump and JD Vance. You know, and I love the way MAGA supporters say, well, forget about what he says. We know he does a lot of crazy things and says a lot of crazy things, but forget about all of that. It's about his policies. And I'm thinking like, that's so interesting. To me, it's so interesting that you would take that position. Like, that would be like telling your kids, well, you know, listen, you don't have to conduct yourself like you have any home training in school. Just make sure that you pass all your exams with A's. I'm sorry if I look at it that way, but that's what it seems like to me. Like, listen, it doesn't matter if you don't listen to what your teacher says. It doesn't matter if you have total disrespect and disregard for all of your classmates and your authority figures. As long as you pass your tests, as long as you do well on your midterms and your finals, that's all that matters. I won't punish you or grade you or hold any other opinion of you as long as you do your schoolwork. So, and once again, I say, if he was somebody that you knew, you wouldn't put up with that shit. And you wouldn't give a shit about his policies. And what policies? What policies? What policies? Outside of immigration, we're gonna send everybody back home. We're getting them out of this country. Besides that, and tariffs. We're going to tax everybody. Tariffs. I fail to see what his policies are on anything else. They don't even ask him questions about certain things anymore. Last night I played that snippet of when he was asked about childcare. He was asked, what would you do specifically about childcare to remedy the cost that Americans are having to pay for it? I think I'll play it again. Play it again. You know what I'm saying? Play it again. Because I thought it was so interesting. And this happened what, a month or two ago? But to say that is relevant is an understatement. Here it goes. Hold on.
Talked about how the increase in the price of food, gas, and rent is hurting families. But the real cost that's breaking families' backs and preventing women from participating in the workforce is childcare. Childcare is now more expensive than rent for working families and is costing the economy more than $122 billion a year, making it one of the most urgent economic issues that is facing our country. In fact, the cost of childcare is outpacing the cost of inflation, with the majority of American families of young children spending more than 20% of their income on childcare. One thing that Democrats and Republicans have in common is that both parties talk a lot about what they're going to do to address the childcare crisis, but neither party has delivered meaningful change. If you win in November, can you commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare affordable? And if so, what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
Well, I would do that, and we're sitting down. I was somebody, we had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that because the childcare is childcare, there's something, you have to have it. In this country, you have to have it. But when you talk about those numbers compared to the kind of numbers that I'm talking about by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to it very quickly. And it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a very substantial tax when they send product into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers that we're talking about, including childcare, that it's going to take care. We're going to have, I look forward to having no deficits within a fairly short period of time, coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all of the other things that are going on in our country, because I have to stay with childcare. I want to stay with childcare, but those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about, including growth, but growth also headed up by what the plan is that I just told you about. We're going to be taking in trillions of dollars, and as much as childcare is talked about as being expensive, it's relatively speaking not very expensive compared to the kind of numbers we'll be taking in. We're going to make this into an incredible country that can afford to take care of its people, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. Let's help other people. But we're going to take care of our country first. This is about America first. It's about make America great again. We have to do it because right now we're a failing nation. So we'll take care of it. Thank you. Very good question. Thank you.
Maybe he doesn't understand the word specific. She asked him, she put out a number. She said that childcare is costing Americans hundreds of millions of dollars. I think she said 180 million. I almost thought she said 180 billion, but it can't be that much. So let's say 180 million dollars are the cost that Americans are paying for childcare, and they can't afford it. So you work all week, 2 weeks you get paid, and you have to pay $300-$400 a week in childcare. And they asked him what would he do specifically to remedy that situation, because the average middle class and even underclass citizen cannot afford that. And he starts talking about tariffs. Tariffs. You ask him about, that would be like me asking, like, they went up on the cost of ham. Yo, ham is too much money. And he's like, man, yeah, but listen, we're going to tax China and all those Asian countries or whatever for bringing, China, Japan, and all of them for bringing cars and stuff into this country. And the country is going to have a lot of money. So with Rita's daycare down the street, is she getting some of the tariff money? Like, it amazes me that he's able to get away with this kind of bullshit. I don't get it. How? In what world would you be able to ask a person like, listen, I need $100. I need $100, man. I'm short 100. I have something that I have to do, and I'm short $100. Can you help me out? Well, listen, man, Listen, I'm getting a raise. I'm getting a raise, you know, after I get this promotion next year. So, you know what I mean? And the money that I'm about to get from this raise and this promotion, man, $100 ain't gonna seem like shit. Like, I mean, $100 ain't gonna be saying nothing after I get this raise and promotion. So, yo, we about to make $100, you know, good money again. That's what I heard. I don't know what anybody else heard, but he didn't answer the question. And I can't understand how he got away with that. I just can't. Jad, man. Okay. All right, hold on. By the way, yo, listen, y'all can call into this show. You know what I mean? You don't have to stand there in the chat. I know some of y'all MAGA supporters, you know, y'all there, head is getting big. Some of y'all leaving, like, I can't listen to this shit. I can't deal with this shit. He's not even paying attention to me. Call 319-527-6199. I said a 319-527-6199. That's the number to call. I said a 319-527-6199. Yes, y'all. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get on the line. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. 319-527-6199, baby. Call 319-527-6199. And I will get you on the line. If I'm talking to somebody on the line, you can still call in. There is no busy signal. There is no hold. There's none of that. So and there's no censorship. And if you've ever listened to the show before, if you've ever watched this show before, you know that I don't cut people off early. I don't stop them from saying what they want to say. You don't even have to be respectful to me. I'll let you get your shit off. I don't cut you off. Or, you know, like, you know, when you other shows have time constraints that they honor. So they might only give you 30 seconds, maybe max 1 minute to get your point across. Well, not over here. We can have a conversation. 319-527-6199. Call into the show. The number is pinned right there. You can see it. You see it. But yeah, what, like, getting away with shit like that? I don't understand. And I don't know if y'all heard it at the end of that whatever you want to call him, at the end of his statement, he said that was a great question. Great question. You know why he said it was a great question? Because he was able to get away with it unchallenged. Like, she didn't say something like, I asked you specifically what you would do. He would not have called it a great question if she did that. I don't see why she wasted her breath with all of the preamble that she did before she got to the point where she asked him, what would you do specifically to lower the cost or ease the burden of childcare on the American public? If she would have asked him that, he would have started acting like a baby again. He would have went on a brat run, and he would have criticized her and attacked the network. But since she let him get away with that shit, and at the end of it all, he was able to say, yeah, you know, we're going to help people, make America great again. Because it's a failing nation. It's a failing nation. What the fuck failing? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Stock market at an all-time high, breaking crazy records consistently for months. Then he tried to, in one interview, he tried to take credit for it. No, I'm sorry. In one rally, he tried to take credit for it. Oh, the economy is getting better because they think I'm going to win. The stock market is better because they think I'm going to win. Motherfucker, you didn't invent the stock market. Like, why do people let him get away with this shit? All right. What's up, Mint Plant? Luke Starling. Rampage 88 ATP. Says make America gay again. And B, Irishman says the presidents actually fix things, make change. You wouldn't need a new one every 4 to 5 years. Just my opinion, nothing personal. Listen, man. It isn't anything personal. I mean, listen, you have a right to your opinion, whether I agree with it or not. Politics is about money. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Politics is about money. It's not about people. People are what politicians have to concentrate on or make people think that the concentration is in order to get the support, which are the votes. But if you look at how politics work, the people who they really serve after they get elected are the people who pay in. As simple as that. The people who pay in get the political favors. So when people complain about the Democratic Party, how the LGBTQIA, SUV, TWX, NWX, NWA, when people complain how they have how the Democratic Party has catered to them and has given them things, you know, the whole gay marriage thing, whatever they want, they get. Why would you be surprised at that when they fueled millions of dollars into the Democratic campaign for president? If a bank loaned you money in order to start up a business, don't you think you would have to pay the bank back? They didn't give you the money. They gave you the money for a purpose, and you're going to return the money with interest. That's the way business works. And that's also the way that politics work. So all of my black and brown people running around here thinking, oh, you can't win without our vote. Yeah, we should make them start paying for our vote. Your vote don't mean shit. The election is on November 5th. Kamala Harris has been campaigning since Joe Biden dropped out. And the first thing they talked about, remember, in her first 24 hours, of being a presidential candidate, what did they talk about? Do you remember? I remember. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. They talked about how much money she raised in 24 hours. They didn't say how many people were supporting her. They don't have any way of knowing that, but they don't give a shit. The money that you get is indicative of the power that you wield, of the influence that you carry, and it's a projection of how many people are going to vote for you in the election. Black and brown people want to sit back on their ass talking about, yeah, you want my vote? You're going to have to pay me. You better have some policies specifically aimed at the black community. Meanwhile, you ask them, well, like what? You know, black stuff. Black stuff like what? Well, education and stuff. Okay. Specifically, what would you like to see change in education? Education. We should have more education. Okay. All right. Okay. What else? I'm pro-black as they come, but I don't give niggas a free pass on that bullshit. What we always want something, but we don't want to plant. We don't want to unite on any issue. You can never find an issue that black people all agree on. You never find that shit. We can't even agree on whether we eat pork or not. Chicken or fish. I don't know. They eat fish over there, but I don't like the fish they be eating. They be eating that tilapia shit. So I don't fuck with them. So do you want the chicken? Well, if that's all y'all got, I'll take the chicken. but I think we should have more choices. Well, more choices for black and brown people equal no choice at all. I've seen evidence of this. But if black people want it, and they want to get on Kamala Harris for not saying that she's going to aim legislation directly aimed at black people. Do you know why she won't do that? Do you know why? Black man, woman, and child. Do you know why she won't do that? Because she won't win. Even if every black eligible voter voted in this 2024 election, it would not be enough to get her to 270. Do y'all understand that? We are somewhere between 11 and 13% of the population. And not all of our 11 to 13% of the population are eligible to vote. This is simple math, but this isn't the math that anybody has been telling us. So we think that we hold a greater importance than we really do. So it works both ways, though. So all of these black people who have jumped ship from the Democratic Party, who say, and I say that they're supporting Trump and that they're going to vote for Trump, you're not going to help him win either. It's good for visuals. It is. For optics, it's great. For optics, it's great. But in reality, you can't get him or her to 270 electoral votes, which is what it takes to win. Y'all can't do that. Not alone. Even if every one of y'all voted eligible. Because when you talk about our 11 to 13%, you're not talking about all adults over 18 years old. You have children, you have people who are incarcerated who can't vote. You have there's some things that we don't always take into consideration that we need to in order to get a greater perspective of why things are going on. So if a black woman like Kamala Harris, and yes, I say she's a black woman. Fuck all that Indian shit. Black mixed with anything is black. All of a sudden, we want to draw the lines. I grew up in the black community. We always had distinctions between light skin, dark skin, and we would anybody who grew up in the hood and hung around black and had a slight bit of brown in their blood was black. Now all of a sudden she ain't black, and she browned in a lot of y'all moms, dads, sisters, aunts, and cousins, and browned in your own goddamn self. When you see Kamala Harris, you don't see a black woman. How come I do? You see an Indian woman? I don't. The fuck out of here. And like Indians aren't brown too. You ever been to India? You ever seen the dark skinned people from India? They're dark like Africans, way darker than a lot of us are. Anyway, with a black woman like Kamala Harris, won't say that she's going to aim policies directly for black people. She's protecting herself from people who say, well, yeah, we would expect a black person. I bet you she would be black if she did that shit. Y'all stop talking that Indian shit if she said that. Like, yeah, man, I'm gonna make sure that all my black and brown people get reparations. I bet you she would be black then. But guess what? She would lose. So she would lose so bad it would be ridiculous. So white people are the majority of the voting public. You can't ignore that. So what do you say? What you say is, I'm going to do things for all Americans, whether they vote for me or not. And I know that black people will be affected by that, because once I get in, then I can direct certain policies right towards them. But I'm not going to do that on the campaign trail. What are you, dumb? You got Brad, Lisa, Kayla, Megan, Abigail. They looking. They don't want to hear that shit. It's bad enough they're thinking that immigrants are getting shit that they not getting. Now you mean to tell me we going back to black people again? Oh, hell no. I ain't voting for a dumbass. I ain't voting for a black ass. Come on, man. Come on. I mean, we're not using our brains. But I almost got sidetracked. Sometimes I get so passionate, you know what I mean? By the way, please hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Urban Therapy with Son. The Urban Therapy with Son show. I am your host, Son752. And we are talking about Maga. Scared if they win, scared if they lose. So we're actually supposed to be talking about, does Maga present an imminent threat to the American public? Like, are we afraid if they win because that will cause a lot of long-term damage, or are we afraid that if they lose, they're going to tear shit up today? Okay. And you can call into the show, 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. I said 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. Sorry, I normally read all of the comments, or at least I try to, but these are a lot, and I can't get them all in. Okay, so if black people if they really want certain legislations geared towards them, I do have a plan of how that could happen. It's not even hard. This is an easy thing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna stand up when I do this shit. Fuck this shit. Because a lot of y'all, I do this for the trolls, them bitch ass motherfuckers that come in here, talking all that old dumb shit because they don't have nothing else going on in their lives. If black people want legislation that's geared towards the black community specifically, this is what we would have to do. A bunch of us, let's say 1,000 of us, let's say 10,000 of us, would have to chip in maybe $10, maybe $100, so we could lobby and donate to the campaign of the candidate of our choice. Because money talks, especially in a political campaign. Nothing else matters. The money, because the money that they receive in donations, or should I say contributions, the money that they receive in contributions allows them to be able to buy ads. It allows them to be able to pay their campaign staff. It allows them to be able to tour around the country, have rallies, and do interviews, and be able to conduct business. That's why Kamala Harris has raised so much more money than Donald Trump. She's actually in an advantage right now. She is she's not outspending him, but I don't know, my vocabulary is suffering right now, but I'm talking about when you receive money. So she is receiving money by the money that he gets by double, almost triple. Like she is, like people are donating. But if we want it, if you black man, women, and children, and community, and neighborhood, and city, and blocks, if you really wanted to have legislation, political legislation that was geared specifically towards you, all of us chip in $100. 10,000 of us chip in $100. Let's see. I don't like to use my iPhone, but one thing about an iPhone is that the calculator comes up real fast. So let me go to the calculator. So let's see. $100 times 10,000. What we got? That's $1 million. $1 million. $1 million. Each 10,000 person chip in $100. If you go to any candidate and say, listen, our section of the black community, 10,000 black people can relatively say that they represent the black community. Of course, there's only 10,000 people, but you can honestly say that we represent the needs and interests of the black community. And we have $1 million that we are willing to donate to your campaign, but this is what we want. And you have a detailed plan. Like, listen, maybe we want trades to be put back into the schools. Maybe we want more recreational facilities and activities, and a way for our children to be able to have extracurricular activities outside of school, so they can avoid being in gangs and selling drugs and getting into trouble with the law and messing up their future. How about that? Maybe you're interested in services for your elderly. Maybe you're interested in childcare. Maybe you're interested in something, whatever it is. You can go to any candidate with $1 million and get what you want. And you're going to get it because now you're on the books officially before the election. So when they win, when they win, we gave you $1 million. The black community needs this. But that's what we fail to do. You know why we fail to do that? Because there isn't a black person that we trust to give $100 to and think that they're going to deliver it where it's supposed to go. Our problem is ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. We don't unite for shit. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't. And so we get on this hamster wheel of just being on this hamster wheel, going nowhere, expecting everything and actually doing nothing. You have to plan your work and work your plan. You have to plan your work and work your plan, black man. That's what you got to do. This ain't hard. I don't care whether you're Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite, Jew. I don't care if you're Hindu. I don't care if you're atheist. If you want to make politics work for you, you have to know how to work politics. That's what you have to do. You gotta get up off your ass and stop making yourself believe that you've already put in your work. This ain't hard. This is not hard. You have a job. You go to your job every day. When you go to work, let you go to your boss and ask for a raise or promotion, and you haven't been doing good work yet. You're gonna be like, raise, promotion. Hold on, let me check your attendance record. Seems like you haven't been coming. You've been missing a lot of days. What's going on with that? Oh yeah, my mom been sick, and my daughter's graduation was this year, so I had to take a few days. Okay. You seem to be having problems with your punctuality too. I mean, I came in a little bit late, but not really late. I was on time. I might. All right, we supposed to be here at 8 a.m. and I was here at 8:05, but I wasn't late. Like, do we have a grace period policy? I don't know. Do we? Okay. Your productivity seems to be just straight line. Like, we haven't seen any increases. Like, basically, we're not making money off of you. So you asking for a raise when you haven't done anything to even deserve what you've been getting is ridiculous. So you want to get a raise, you want to get a promotion, bust your ass. Be accessible. Be Johnny on the spot. Ask for more work. Ask your supervisor or your manager to come check on what you're doing. Build bridges towards your resources instead of hiding, hoping, sitting in the back of the class, hoping that nobody sees you while you're on your phone, or while you ducking in the bathroom, or in your car in the parking lot, catching a little siesta. That's sleep. You got to work before you get rewarded. We want to We want to make ourselves think that we've already worked. We've already performed. We've already outperformed our contract. No, you haven't. You've underperformed, or you've done just enough. And you don't get raises and promotions because of that. And you don't get political legislation that benefits or favors you and your community for that. You don't do that. Your vote counts, but your vote is going to count towards other people who actually contributed. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about that. Christopher Jackson says my performance is down because of Trump tariffs. That's funny. Mark G says it's batshit that Trump can't legally vote for president because he's a felon, but he can be president. Weird times we're in, man. This is crazy. Tom S says he's not a felon. Well, according to his conviction, he's a felon times 34. According to his conviction, according to the law. Christopher Jackson says Kamala deserves a promotion. What the fuck? Well, she hasn't been promoted yet. But she is putting in some work. She is putting in some work. And, with a little luck and maybe some divine intervention, she will be granted a very, very big promotion on, somewhere around October 5th or 6th, God willing, inshallah. We'll see what happens. We got to see what happens, man. We just don't know. The election is tied right now, according to the polls. And I don't really like to cite poll results, but according to the polls, the election is it's tied. Maybe in some states, some swing states, Kamala has an advantage. Maybe in some, Donald Trump has an advantage. We'll have to see. They don't poll many people when they take those polls. If you look at the bottom of the screen where they have the poll results, you think, like, if you don't know anything about statistics and propaganda, you think that they have somehow polled all of these thousands or millions of people in the United States. No, the highest number of the poll may be maybe 2,000, 2,500. I've never even seen poll results, pre-election poll results that have polled more than 3,000 people. I've never seen that. So, I've seen it as low as 500. Well, 500, and they'll say things, propaganda by the liberal media and the conservative media. They'll say 60% of Americans believe that Donald Trump is this or Kamala Harris is this. And you're like, well, they didn't lie. Those were Americans that they polled. But it was only 500 of them. What the fuck? Yeah. 500 from where? Did you do all 50 states? I mean, what are the chances? So I don't like to get into the whole polls thing. Tom says he's not a felon. He says might want to check out the appeals court. Well, do you know when it's time to appeal, sir? Do you know the only time that you appeal a conviction? I'm fucking round. Do you know the only time that you appeal a decision? Doon 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 doon. You only appeal a decision when you lose. You don't appeal a win. He lost. He's convicted. We're awaiting sentencing for him. Not a decision, not a verdict. We're awaiting sentencing. Come on, man. Come on, Tom. I know Fox News at least told you that part. Jose Dirte says, as a lifelong Democrat, I didn't have a choice whether Biden was our candidate in the primary, and then I didn't have a choice whether Kamala would be the candidate when Biden stepped down. Okay? No, you always have choices because you don't have to vote. I mean, you don't have to, but even the choice that you make not to choose is a choice. I mean, now I understand what you're probably trying to say. You're probably trying to say that, you know, that she's not who I would have voted for. Well, but she's the vice president of the United States. So just like the GOP could have denied Donald Trump the nomination. They could have denied it. If they don't think that he would be good and that he would not be a strong enough candidate to win, they can deny that. That's even if everybody voted for him. Like, nah, we can't do it. And they could have done it. They could have said, listen, man, you know, you got 34 felony convictions and we can't nominate him. Listen, I know y'all didn't vote for Nikki Haley, but that's going to be y'all candidate. So that's what happened. Joe Biden stepped down, and I honestly believe that was the plan all along. I don't really go for this whole, you know, he wasn't cognitive enough or what. I don't believe that shit. I don't believe it. Mint Plant 5 says, scary that the real criminals aren't even convicted. What happens behind closed doors is heard through the cackle. Interesting. Hold on, y'all. Hold on a second. Hold on, my people. Hold on just a second. Second. Oh, fudge. Wait a minute. Wait un minuto. I just got to handle something real quick. Real quick. I'll be right back at you. I took the microphone, so, you know, y'all can still hear me. Coming through loud and clear. We good. All right. I'm back. I know nobody missed me. No big deal. Oh, Jose Dirte says, my state only had Biden on the ballot this primary. What state do you live in? Charles Lindsay, my peoples, my baby brother, what's going on? He says it was definitely the plan all along. Yeah, I don't think that happened by happenstance or circumstance. I think that it played out because one day he's barely coherent. And then the very next day, yeah, so, you know, I mean, that shit that happened last night was crazy. Did you hear what he was talking about last night? I'm like, what we doing, Joe? What we doing? I don't think that they would have had. I think that Joe Biden didn't want to run for a second term in the first place. But I think they all had to put on a good show. And I think they were successful at that. I think they just wanted to put on a good show. Like, oh, well, you know, we may like Joe Biden, but we don't think that he could beat Donald Trump this time around. And I don't think that he meant to. I don't think he wanted to end the rest of his days being president of the United States. I don't think he wanted to go into his super senior years as president of the United States. It's a tough job. It requires a lot of energy. And I think they said, we set Kamala up. You know, they didn't like her before, but they'll like her now because she has the best chance to win. So now, where it was the old guy versus the older guy, now the old guy has become the old guy. And we got this fresh 59-year-old Now, I think she just turned 60. We had this fresh 59-year-old, pretty as shit, vibrant, capable, accomplished. She was already the vice president. You know, we think they'll go for it. And they did. Remember, the real reason that Joe Biden had to drop out of the race is because the donors would not donate any more money to his campaign. And they said that they were not only not going to donate to the presidential campaign, but all the Senate races and all of that kind of stuff. The money had frozen up. So in 24 hours after Joe Biden announcing that he was no longer running for president, that he was dropping out of the race, 24 hours, she raises all of this money. The gravy train started immediately. Like, oh, yep. Come on, man. I mean, I was born in the evening, but I wasn't born this evening. What we doing? What we doing? I see that we have a call on the line. Is it pick a lane, Unc? What you mean? What you mean by that? I don't align myself with any. Listen, man, I'm a free thinker. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that I think on my own. I don't let anybody tell me how to think. I go with actual facts. What I see, you can't make me think that I didn't see what I saw or heard what I heard. But I'm the type of man, I dissect certain shit. I listen to what people say and I watch what they do. So my lane is the lane of the truth as I see it. So I don't believe in all of those fucking liberal ideas. I can't fuck with that. You know, the gay marriage, all that LGBTQIA. I can't fuck with that. Can't. Just can't. Same thing with the conservatives. But I can't fuck with none of the shit that they do. All right, we have a caller on the line. Let's get to it. Caller with the last numbers. Hold on, let me get my cursor over here. Callers with the last numbers 4953. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Thank you for calling in. What's on your mind this afternoon? What's good?
Well, you got your title here, Maga, scared that they win. I was kind of wondering what's that all about.
Okay.
And then I hear people talking about 2025. There's some good things in 2025, and there's some that's in there that's not so good.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, Kamala Harris is really not a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen.
Oh,
so we can talk about that later.
Here we go with that shit. Are you?
No, it's not. Wait a minute. Hang on. We're not talking about Obama.
I know.
Kamala Harris, just like Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley was born in 1972. Her parents were not U.S. citizens. Her mother naturalized. Her father naturalized in 1978. Her mother naturalized in 2023 after she was born. According to the 14th Amendment, they have to be that way before that child. That child is born, they take on the status of the parents. They can't birth themselves.
Where was she?
Same thing with, same way with Kamala Harris.
But where was she born?
Nikki Haley was born in South Carolina, but Amendment 14 say that you have to be born under the jurisdiction of the United States. You have to be born to parents who are U.S. citizens.
Oh yeah,
people that cross the border illegally, lay down and have a baby. That baby is not a U.S. citizen.
Mm-hmm.
That baby is under the jurisdiction of where the parents come from. That's what it says.
Yeah, but those immigrants that you're talking about that may have a baby while they're in the United States may be here illegally. If they were under legal status, that changes the status of the child that's born.
No, it's not. The status is according to the U.S. Constitution. They have to be under the complete jurisdiction. If you and your wife was traveling and you went through Italy and you had a baby in Italy went into labor, is that baby Italian?
Nope.
Or is that baby
Sure isn't.
under the jurisdiction of the United States?
Okay, and you're right, and that would disqualify you from being able to run for president of the United States if you were not born on American soil.
No,
But-
that would disqualify you from running in being a citizen of Italy.
No, I'm not talking. I don't give a shit about Italy. I'm talking about the United States.
Well,
If you were born in Italy, even to American-born parents, if you were physically born in Italy, you would be disqualified from being able to run for president of the United States. And that was the big.
No, you would not. No, you would not, because the Immigration National Act and says that American citizenship, that child is an American citizen if it's born to American citizen. No place in the world. Another thing.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on, just a second. So, what was the whole birther thing about Obama not being born on American soil?
Obama had people came up with two past birth certificates on Obama. Obama has no leverage. I tell you, somebody else is in the same position. Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley couldn't be president either.
I just said that. Oh shit! Oh fuck! You caught me. It's you, Pianki. Oh shit! Fuck! I knew that number looked familiar. What the hell? Okay, so like I said, with Obama, what was Donald Trump talking about with the whole birther thing? What was he? What was his big problem with?
I believe it started in Arizona. And the question was where Obama was born. Obama was born Muslim. His father was a Muslim.
I don't give a shit. Listen, sir. I don't give a shit about all of that. When Donald Trump was going against Obama and lying to the American public, saying that he had his original birth certificate, what was his gripe about?
I can't find out where Trump said that, and really, I don't care about Obama. I didn't vote. I voted for him the first time because he was black. The second time, I didn't vote for him because his policies was no damn good. I'm talking about Kamala Harris here in 2024.
But you're the one who brought up Obama. You brought up Obama. You did, not me.
You said, "Here we go again."
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're trying to bring up the birther argument. That's why.
You were talking about. You said, "Here we go again." You made mention of birthing. I said, I'm not talking about Obama because I knew that's where you was going. I'm talking about Kamala Harris, and she's similar to Nikki Haley. And there's another case too that happened in September 23, when you had a doctor in Virginia of Iranian descent. He was born 60 years ago or more. And they listed his parents as being American by error. Recently, in September of last year, he went to renew his passport. And they revoked his citizenship because they said they made an error. His parents were not U.S. citizens.
Okay.
And you can look that up. Just look up Virginia doctor, citizenship revoked. You can do a Google on it.
Okay.
So it makes a difference.
Okay.
It makes a difference.
All right. So in terms of the topic that we're talking about today, as far as because you brought up the whole point about Nikki Haley should be disqualified, could be disqualified.
No, Nikki Haley is not running for president. She was, but she wouldn't have been eligible.
Okay.
That was a question too.
So why did they go through?
Let me explain. Let me say this one more thing to you. Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution stipulates the eligibility for president. You have to be in the country 14 years. You have to be at least 35 years of age, and you have to be natural born. That is, both parents have to be a United States citizen. You have to be born on U.S. soil or a U.S. territory, like a military base. Now, you had 17 presidents that was elected and served before July the 9th, 1868, when the 14th Amendment was adopted. 14th Amendment came in on the heels of the Dred Scott case, if you remember. So the 14th Amendment has nothing to do with the eligibility for president. It has to do with the eligibility to be a U.S. citizen. To be a U.S. citizen, you have to be born on U.S. soil. You have to be natural born and under the complete jurisdiction of the United States. Kamala Harris' parents was under the jurisdiction of Jamaica and India. And if either one of them had had problems, they would have went to a Jamaica or India embassy. They couldn't go to a U.S. embassy because they weren't citizens. That's simple.
Okay. Well, okay. If all of that is true, and you know that the GOP really has a lot of contempt for Kamala Harris, why haven't they brought that up yet and just disqualified her?
It would take a state to do it because the election matters are in the hands of the state. You know who the federal government gets its powers from, don't you?
Oh, who they get the powers from?
The federal government gets its powers from the states. Anything that's not designated to the federal government in the Constitution, there's only a few things, then those powers it reserves to the states. Like the recent issue with abortion. The federal government had no business setting the parameters for abortion. As the court said in their opinion, the states, like Article 10 states in the U.S. Constitution.
Okay. All right, listen.
You know, another thing too, let me share this with you. Courts don't make laws. No judge make laws. All they do is give opinion.
That's true.
And the arguing party go to a court in order to solve something. It's just like an arbitrator.
Uh-huh.
And guess what? The arguing party don't have to go by the court's opinion. We've seen that with the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit some decades ago, when Arizona told the court, we are not going to do it. And they have a right to do so because states are sovereign countries. You have 50 of them.
Okay. All right. I don't want to get far from the topic. So what we're talking about today. No, I want to get back. I just want to get back on track. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
All right. So the title of this show is Maga. Scared if they win, scared if they lose. I'm under the impression that they pose a physical. Wait, hold on. That they pose a physical threat to the American public, regardless of whether they win or lose. What's your opinion on that?
MAGA? Who is MAGA?
Trump supporters, make America great again.
Well, that slogan was used back during the 1970s.
I don't give a shit. We're talking about today. We're talking about today, sir. Let's stay focused.
Well,
we're getting too far away.
I believe in making America. I believe in making America great again. In the areas that made it great, especially like during World War II, when it brought forth its manufacturing power base in order to defeat Japan.
I'm not here to talk about MAGA in that capacity. Do you believe that they pose a threat to the American public, whether they win or lose? It's a yes or no question.
Well, I believe in MAGA, and I don't see where I'm going to hurt anybody.
Okay, you personally, but you don't represent the other millions that may have a different agenda.
You're absolutely right, and you know what? I can't speak for them. I can't.
Okay, what were your thoughts on January 6th, the insurrection?
January 6th. was a protest. It wasn't no insurrection. What was an insurrection is back in the 1970s when you had some Black Panther members march in on the California General Assembly in Sacramento with weapons and chase them off.
Oh yeah. So on January 6th, they didn't chase anybody off.
They didn't have no weapons.
How do you know? How do you know who had weapons or who didn't?
Because it was never reported that they had any weapons. Nobody seen anything.
So wait a minute, wait a minute, sir. So all of a sudden, the mainstream media is not fake news. So if they say that, wait a minute. If you use a flagpole to hit somebody, does the flagpole remain just a flagpole, or does it constitute being a weapon?
It depends on what the other person had. If it was for defense, yeah.
So if I have a knife in my hand, wait. So wait a minute. If I have a knife in my hand, you mean to tell me that that's not a weapon? Just because you may have a gun?
Nobody used it. Well, you know what January 6th was about? January 6th was about that Mike Pence should have, like the Constitution quotes, in controversy between states. He had dual ballots. You had ballots coming from Secretary of State. You had ballots coming from state legislatures. Those ballots should have been sent back so that resolve could have been taken care of. He didn't do it.
Oh yeah. So January 6th had everything to do with Mike Pence. Mike Pence had the power to make January 6th not happen, right?
No, Mike Pence is in his capacity, he was to submit the ballots for certification. There was problematic controversies with the ballot. The ballot should have been, if you got two ballots coming from a state, which one is right? So he should have sent them back. He should have sent them back to the state so that they could have resolved that problem.
And why do you think he didn't do that?
You have to get into his head on it.
Oh, okay. Well, he laid out the reason. He laid out the reason that he didn't do it.
Yeah, but see, the Constitution gives a definite explanation on how it should be done. Just like after the election, you had several states. Texas, I think Texas is one. They filed lawsuits against Pennsylvania because what Pennsylvania was doing with their drop boxes and that was against, actually, also in the case of Pennsylvania's law. The courts would not hear it, and they shouldn't have heard it. It's something that has to be resolved with the state legislatures.
Okay. So did Mike Pence have any other option other than to send it back to the states?
The only option is what the Constitution spells.
Oh yeah?
It's the supreme law of the land.
Okay. So how did he choose another option if he didn't have any other option?
That's a question that would had to be addressed by him. He should have sent them back. That's what it should have been done. See, the states control the elections. Those control lies in the states. Congress don't control no elections. It's the states that control the elections. When Colorado said that they was going to take Trump off their ballot, they had a right to do that. They had a right to take him off the ballot. What you should have is two ballots. You should have a ballot for state and local candidacy, and you should have a federal ballot. Donald Trump is a federal candidate. You got some states and local municipalities that allow illegals to vote. They can do that. But you cannot vote federally if you are not a U.S. citizen.
Okay. So what I was trying to ask you, went along with the premise of this show, which is in January 6th, when I'm asking you this because there was violence during January 6th. And whether you call it an insurrection or agree that that is not, listen, we can disagree on whether that big ball of light and fire in the sky is the sun or not. It doesn't change what it is. You can name it whatever you want to name it. It doesn't change what it is or what it does or what happened. That's what we can't change. So my question on this show is about the imminent threat that MAGA supporters pose to the American public, because we have seen that they have been known to get violent when they don't get what they want. So if they were violent before and they were able to get away with it, and they have a president of the United States that says that they're going to exonerate, or should I say, pardon those who were convicted in the insurrection, what would be their motivation to not do exactly what they did before again? Why would
Let me ask you a question.
Well, why don't you answer my question first?
I'm getting ready to answer your question right now, but I need some further details. What have they been charged with?
Well, many have been charged with sedition. Many of them have been charged with straight up assault. There have been a variety of charges. I can't tell you with what I can't tell you which each one. You know, some of them may have been
now have never been charged with insurrection. That's what you're talking about.
Regardless, sir, I'm asking you about the violence. You know what I mean? All it is.
If violence was portrayed against individuals, that's assault. That's not insurrection.
All right. I asked you about violence. I didn't ask you if they're going to have another insurrection. I asked you about violence. I said the word.
Or did somebody, if somebody has been assaulted, they should file charges. Listen. You and JD Vance and Donald Trump, y'all can pull that shit with everybody else. Listen, if you don't want to answer questions, if you don't want to answer questions directly or whatever, then we can't have this conversation. You're not giving enough. Let me ask you a question. Why do black men have to argue?
You mean look for information or challenge?
That's why nothing never gets done.
Well, wait. Why do black men have to challenge?
You have. Wait a minute.
What? So you can challenge me, but I can't challenge you.
Hang on for a second.
No, I'm not hanging on. I'm not hanging on for a second. You didn't answer my question. You didn't answer. Oh, wait a minute. You didn't answer my question, and now you want to. You're trying to dominate the conversation. Not going to happen.
I told you I don't know why I can't get in the heads of millions like you said. Can you?
Just because you can't prove something does not mean that you don't have an opinion. And I asked you about your opinion.
I gave you my opinion. My opinion is I don't know.
That you didn't say that. You're now saying that. That's not what you said. No, that's not what you said. That's not what you said, sir. I'm a pretty good listener.
Like I just said. Now where are we going?
Okay. Well, that's what this show is about. This show is about whether MAGA support. Wait, why are you cutting me? Wait. I gotta slow you down, dog. You doing too much. I ain't having that shit. My question to the man on the line was about whether MAGA poses a physical threat to the American public if they lose. Do they present a long-term threat if they win? Because we know that they have been known to get violent when they don't get their way. We have seen it. And you can call it whatever you want to call it, but it doesn't change what it is. So you're going to have to pardon me for not wanting to get into all of this. Listen, the kind of man I am, I don't play that bullshit. All of that, it's sort of like court talk. Like all you have to do is not answer questions directly or say that you don't recall and things like that. That shit plays out in court. You still receive a verdict on it. But over here, if you don't want to answer questions directly, then we can't have a conversation. I'm sorry. You can do that over there, but over here, if you don't want to answer directly, then we can't do it. So I'm not bringing the man back on the line. Not doing it. Not having it, because this is kind of ridiculous. Each and every one of you who are listening has an opinion on whether you think that MAGA poses a threat to the American public if they win or if they lose. I know each and every one of you has an opinion on that. This ain't hard. I didn't ask you to give me a dissertation. I didn't ask you to teach me about American legal history. I didn't tell you to go into the whole history of English common law. I asked you that shit. And I don't give a shit about it. I just don't. So we're not doing that. Now, me and the caller have a long history. When my dad was alive, he had a show called Legacy of a Nation. And that caller used to call in all the time. And my dad would let him just go on and kick that bullshit. And I used to be like, oh my fucking goodness. I can't do it. I couldn't do it then, and I ain't doing it now. You got to tighten up. You got to tighten up. So okay, hold on. Let me see. Yeah, it was a simple question. This ain't no hard question, and that's whether you agree or not. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You're not gonna tell me you don't have an opinion. Yes, you don't have any proof of whether somebody would do something or not. None of us do, but you have an opinion. And most of the decisions that you're going to make in your life are going to be based on the opinions that you hold. And hopefully your opinions will be based on some kind of facts that you know, or things that you've experienced, or something that you can hold on to make an informed decision or an opinion. An informed opinion, an informed decision. It's not that hard. You know what I mean? I don't like when people make life hard. If I gotta squeeze your opinion, I'm like, what did you call in for? What are you calling in for? I don't have nothing to say. Should we have plenty of trolls who call in and just want to bullshit? All right. Should I let you get that shit off? But listen, if we're going to talk about the topic, then let's talk about the topic. All right. So what we're talking about is whether. I'm just going to tell y'all straight up and down. I consider MAGA to have terroristic properties. Terroristic properties. Now, terror is one of those words that the American media throws around, and it's a propaganda tool, and we usually use it to demonize other countries that don't cooperate with the will of the United States. So we call Islamic extremists terrorists, and now we don't usually concern ourselves with the reasons that they may be pushing back, the reasons that they may be resisting, and things like that. But politicians know, the military knows the reasons why there's unrest in many of these countries. They know. Now, what we report to the American public would not serve the military very well, because how are you going to get thousands of young men and women to sign up for the military when they don't think that they're fighting for a good cause? So you better start talking about terrorism and things like that. But we know from the movement Occupy Wall Street, we know that from that movement years ago, that many soldiers who went over to fight in Iraq and Afghanistan came back and they said, no, this is some bullshit. It was unprecedented. They came back like, yo, that wasn't cool. We thought that we were going over there to fight this or fight that or fight them, and we found out that we just fighting for somebody's money. We're fighting for pockets. Well, guess what? Every war you've ever fought in was fought for the same reason. But if we use the propaganda tool to say that, well, yeah, we really just want to go over to Iraq because we can get our hands on a bunch of petroleum. You know, we got oil over there. And we want to go to Afghanistan because they got heroin over there, and we like to sell some drugs. Not too many people are going to support that. It's not going to happen. So that's one of those things. All right. So when a terrorist is like a bully. They make you believe that you're going to be harmed if you don't do something that they want you to do. It's really just a fear mongering tool. So when they call people terrorists, they have the threat out there that you're going to be hurt. You're going to be hurt, or something very adverse to what you want to happen is going to happen to you. And so you better comply or you better fight back. So when it comes to Maga, we've seen how they can be energized to mobilize and tear shit up. You know, get it popping in the streets if necessary, if they don't win the election. And Donald Trump has already said that, and he and his constituents have already said that they would not certify the election. Of course, they don't say it straight up and down. They word salad it. And I don't even like to use the word salad, because when you use the word salad, everybody knows that you've been watching TV. I don't like to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But I've never used the word. I've never used the term word salad in my life. I've never even heard it said as many times as I have this year. But here we are. Here we are, my peoples. But yeah. If they win, then we have to deal with all of these right-wing militia groups, you know what I mean, tearing shit up because Donald Trump, I mean, love it or hate it, agree with it or deny it, or should I say admit it or deny it, he definitely appeals to right-wing militia groups like the skinheads, or should I say neo-Nazis, KKK. He appeals to them. He speaks directly to them in dog whistle terms. He does that. You can deny it all you want. He does. You know what you've never heard him do ever? Is say, listen, I don't want to have anything to do with white supremacy. So anybody who believes or practices white supremacy, don't vote for me or don't support me because I'm not on that agenda. That's what he's not going to do. That's what he's not going to do. And so here we are. Here we are. A bunch of black people thinking that he's going to do something for them as if he's done something for them before. I've never seen anything like this in my life. It's kind of crazy. It really is. A man that clearly tells you what he's going to do on the things that he really wants to do, but can't lay out a clear policy description of anything that's relevant to you, your family, your community, or anything. It's always blanket statements. We're going to make America great again. We're going to do something so great that, you know, we're going to do things you've never seen before. It's always like in broad sweeping terms. Like, nobody want that shit. We ask you a simple question. Answer the fucking question. Can you do it? But I've never seen a situation where somebody doesn't answer questions and then everybody answers the questions for them. I've never seen a situation where somebody doesn't lay out policy, but then all of his followers somehow find the policy. Like, where'd you get that shit from? Where'd you get that? I've never seen somebody who will clearly give out disinformation and straight up lie about shit, and then somehow they say, "No, I think that was a good thing." Kamala Harris handed this motherfucker ass to him in that debate, scared him off, made him. I mean, he turned tail. He ran. He said, "No more debates." No more debates, no more interviews with anybody who's going to fact check me, none of that shit. And that doesn't concern anybody. Like somebody who will not allow themselves to be fact checked. Kamala Harris just went on Fox News the other day, Thursday. She knows that they don't like her on Fox. She knows that they were going to fact check her. She fucked them up. They tried some shit, didn't get away with it. I mean, what did you expect? She's a former prosecutor. You ain't gonna beat her. I don't care how old Roy Jones is. You ain't gonna beat him in no street fight. He gonna fuck you up. So I don't know. It's crazy. He has condemned white supremacy. When? When has he condemned white supremacy? What? I've never even heard him use the word white supremacy. Show me where he has condemned white supremacy. I mean, in the debate with Joe Biden, he was asked about the Proud Boys, like to tell him to stand down. He told him to stand back and stand by. Stand back and stand by. That's not the same as standing down. It's not the same thing. They let him get away with that shit, though. But fuck all that Trump supporting shit. Nah. You if you want Hitler, you're gonna have to go back in history. I'm not going for it. All right. Brett Litwin says if she did, he's already done 2 debates, my guy. She got her ass handed to her by Brett Baer. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She fucked Brett Baer. Stop that dumb shit. He tried to overtalk her. He really tried to overtalk her. He played an incorrect video clip and tried to get her with that. She caught him out there. And see, this is what I'm talking about. He can do no wrong. He can do no wrong. A person that goes unchecked, what do you expect them to do? She got her ass handed to her by Brett Baer. I don't know what you was watching. She handled him very well. She didn't let him make her upset, throw her off of what she was talking about, but he also didn't let her completely answer her questions. That's what he tried not to do. There's a whole lot of other shit associated with that too. TK Ray says he has never said I denounce white supremacy or I don't want the support of extremist groups. Yeah, he's not going to ever say that either. He's not ever going to say that. Nick A says she had no answers other than but Donald Trump. Oh yeah, I don't know what you were. I know what you. 60 seconds. I don't know what you were watching. You know, like the part where he tried to say, well, if Donald Trump is such a bad person or whatever, I'm paraphrasing, then why is he leading the polls in half of the swing states? And he tried to say, are they just stupid? Like she was going to be like, I don't know, maybe. She was like, I would never say that about the American people. Donald Trump is the one who's always calling people stupid. I'm paraphrasing. She actually said he's the one that's always disparaging the American public and demeaning them. That's what she said. They tried to set the trap. But that little black girl fucked him up. He got beat, he got his ass whooped by a girl. She said, get the fuck out of here. She brought the belt out on his. What the fuck you think you doing? Bet you she black now. There ain't no Indian doing that shit to you. Bet you she black now. Oh man. He said, she got cooked, bro. Stop cat. No, she didn't. No, she did. Yo, everybody just go back and watch the interview. That's what you need to do. Watch the interview. I mean, don't take my word for it. Definitely don't take his word for it. Go back and watch it. It's all over. It's all over YouTube. As soon as y'all get finished, matter of fact, we done this show anyway. I mean, go watch it. Check it out. It's good shit. It's good shit. Yeah, Matt Sapero says Brett played a fake video and she destroyed his fake bit. Come on, man. This is the problem. And this is why MAGA is such a threat to the American public, because Donald Trump goes unchecked by them. Everything he does, and he's always embroiled in some bullshit, but they don't check him. They instead support him, believe him, and even spew that same shit. Fake news. This is a hoax. It's a witch hunt. Fuck out of here. Everything that he doesn't like is a witch hunt. Everything. Oh, I'm sorry. Every investigation of him is a witch hunt. Like nobody else gets investigated. Everything that he doesn't like is a hoax. COVID was a hoax. And my condolences to anybody who lost their loved ones, because I did during COVID. Yeah, the hoax. The big hoax. That hoax was some shit. Tore shit up. Okay. But it was a hoax. Didn't he get COVID? It was still a hoax though. All right, let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious October 19th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special, because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Lamont, Big Mike, Collymore Bay, happy birthday to you. And also Strength E. McIntyre, no relation, but what up, cuz? Happy birthday to you. And also, he said he's raising money for the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and also Mabry, Trinidad, and also Larice Brown, and also Key McIntyre, no relation, but what up, cuz? Happy birthday to you. And my girl, Go Getter Denise Porter, happy birthday to you. And also Go Getter Angie Phillips. And my people's Carnessa Bibbs, going all the way back to the 80s. Happy birthday to you, Ma. And Charles Atchison, going all the way back to the 1982, my man. And last but not least, going all the way back to the 1982, my girl, Danita Harper, happy birthday to you. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious October 19th. Anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally, all of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, to rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen, MAGA, I don't know if they pose a threat, a physical threat, but I think that's what you're going to get. Whether they win or lose, you might get banged and bruised. But that's only if you choose to let them get away with the shit that they've been getting away with. I'm not down with it. So I'm going to take another choice. Take another voice. We're going to ride around in a Rolls Royce. Well, we ain't getting money like that, but at least we can have enough money to smoke, you know what I mean, and drink a little something and do a little something, go on a little vacation is better for the nation. All we trying to do is make a couple of dollars and step to the shorties, you know, give a holler. And we going to make it out here if we try, but not if you vote for that, the orange guy. All right, listen. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I want to thank y'all all for coming through, because you could have been anywhere else this afternoon, but you chose to come out and rock with me. And that will not go unnoticed. So thanks a lot. So I'm going to holler back at you. Let me see. Peace.